Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Too hot to handle. Summer's off to a sweltering start. Avoid raccoon ruckus. Advice to keep the green bin bandits away.
In a time where many things are trying to pull people and communities apart.
And perfect harmony. American musicians strike a chord in Canada.
A hot minute. Extreme heat lingers in Nova Scotia for tonight and into tomorrow.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Peno-Palace. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, the heat is on. Summer is off to a scorching start as temperatures soar in much of the region. As CTV's Hafsa Arif shows us, while many soaked up the sun today, others ran for cover. Hafsa.
That's right, Maria. Maritimers are sweating it out as a heat warning blankets the region. From waterfront strolls to beer garden patios, people are finding creative ways to keep their cool. The sun is blazing, the air feels thick, and here in downtown Halifax, just steps from the harbor, it's the kind of heat that sticks to your skin.
The waterfront right now it's feeling pretty warm because we're out of the wind, but I'm sure it's a lot cooler here than it is inland, so this isn't bad for me.
A heat warning is in effect for most of mainland Nova Scotia, with the humidity making it feel well into the 30s.
I had to come down and see the harbor, and I'm glad the weather we've got. It's great. The humidity for me is a bit much, though. I live by the coast in BC, and we don't see this outdoors.
Environment Canada is warning people to watch out for early signs of heat-related illness, which includes headache, nausea, and dizziness. But that's not stopping people from enjoying the weather. At the beach, it's towels, sun hats, and cooling off in the waters, with some playing it safe, sticking to the shade and trading sunbathing for sitting under the trees.
Just staying in the shade there and have lots of water to drink and you'll be okay.
And while some are dipping their toes in the ocean, others are cooling off with something cold in hand.
Lots of water and a cold beer soon.
At the end of the day, we're going to end up, or I'm going to end up in the ocean down in Gilbert's Cove.
But life is great. You got to keep smiling, take the sun as she goes, one day at a time, you won't go wrong.
For businesses, the weather is just perfect.
We're a venue that basically relies on the weather. You know, when we wake up in the morning, we look outside and we check the weather, and then we start kind of forecasting what staffing is going to look like and how passionate people are going to want to be to get out.
They've even found ways to help customers and staff with the heat.
So we've invested in kind of heat pumps into our back of house areas, so in our kitchens and in our staff rooms, so we have areas that the staff can go to if they're feeling too hot. We also have these misters that we put in the venues as well.
The heat warning is expected to stick around into tomorrow, so folks are doing what they can to stay cool and make the most of it. Maria?
Thank you, Hafsa. Well, now you get inside, and I hope you've got your sunscreen on. That actually brings us to tonight's web poll. We are asking, how do you feel about the hot weather? Your options are, I love it, I hate it, and your final option, I can take it or leave it. Just go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in, and of course to see the latest poll results. Todd, I love it. How about you?
Well, it's certainly nice to see some heat. We suffered with a pretty dismal spring, so I don't think too many people are going to be minding a day or two of this. We'll see how long it lasts, Maria.
Bring it on.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, this has a bit of a summer theme to it. A postponed headliner is no laughing matter for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Comedian Matt Rife, you see him there, has put off his appearance for a year at the festival, causing, well, some consternation among ticket holders expecting to see him. The festival has taken steps to appease those disappointed in the development. You will hear from some of them tonight at 6 o'clock. The Governor of Maine making the rounds. Janet Mills is in Fredericton today talking with Premier Holt and the business community. She's hoping to find some common ground on trade opportunities with the maritime premiers. She's also making a pitch for Canadians to return to places like Old Orchard Beach that desperately need the tourist dollars. We'll hear from her tonight. Big day for donuts in Sussex. Mrs. Dunster's officially held its newly opened operation. Grand opening today. The company can now produce up to 85 million donuts in a single year. They're looking to sell them in new markets. You may be surprised by one of them. Derek Haggett will bring us that at 6 o'clock. Now to Brianne Foley in the Weather Center with probably the easiest job in the building today.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the heat, then you'll like me today because you are continuing to see that heat. As we take a look here at those current temperatures, we're still sitting in the 30s. Of course, with the humidex values feeling a little bit warmer than that, a heat warning is in effect for parts of Nova Scotia for today, and we're not really feeling that much reprieve from wind gusts either. So we are missing that as we head throughout the day. We have a little bit of scattered showers, a little bit of lightning action around that Fredericton area, something that is common for this time of year, especially with that low pressure system moving in. And of course, we are seeing a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until later this evening. And like I said, that heat warning still in effect for parts of western and central Nova Scotia into tomorrow. So we are going to continue to feel those warmer temperatures. That humidex near 35 for tomorrow, with 30 degrees being an average type temperature. So that is something we are going to continue to watch. And as we head into Wednesday, not a whole lot of showers outlook for Wednesday morning. We could see a few scattered showers through parts of Nova Scotia. But again, it is going to be another hot one in the province tomorrow, Maria.
Thank you, Brianne. We'll check in with Brianne in just a bit. Right now, though, 80 years ago, HMCS Sackville served as a convoy escort for merchant ships during the Battle of the Atlantic. This Thursday, the historic vessel opens for visitors on the Halifax waterfront. CTV's Crystal Garrett takes us on board.
Welcome to the gem of Halifax Harbor. This is the last ship, the last corvette in existence. There were worldwide 368 of them manufactured, built between the UK, Canada, and Australia. And this is the last one. The last to fight in the war, World War II, the Battle of the Atlantic, but she is also the last of her kind in the world. And she represents not only a fighter, not only the sailors that went to sea, but she represents the story of Canada at a very important time in our history. And she's a historic icon here right on the Halifax waterfront.
She was built as an anti-submarine warfare escort. When you had convoys sailing across the North Atlantic, either way, you had to protect the convoys. Because initially during the war, convoy ships, they didn't convoy, and they were picked off quite severely. They come up with the convoy concept, and that way, by sending them across in a group, you could then afford them protection with our anti-submarine warfare ships, these escorts. What their job was to surround the main body. They basically would protect it, particularly when the submarines, the wolf pack, would attack the convoys.
Eventually, we're going to have to change out the hull, and that essentially means cutting the hull off and putting on new steel. Okay, and that will give the ship at least another 80 years of life. And so we're aiming a campaign to make that happen. It's a living memorial to, you know, all those that served at sea, that sacrificed and continue to serve today. The 26th of June is our big opening day. And from then on, we are open every day until just after Remembrance Day.
So there you go. Now you can go see it for yourself. All right, going to take a break. When we come back, we're talking about critter control.
Try and make it uncomfortable for her, that she doesn't want to be there with her babies.
Raccoons can cause homeowners a whole lot of heartache, but there are ways to avoid the trouble. Hope for Wildlife offers up some humane solutions. Next.
Celebrating the best of Cape Breton's music industry. Join us at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony June 19th at Centre 200. This year's inductees include Bruce Guthrow, the Rankin family, and Donnie Campbell. For details, visit cbmic.ca.
Welcome back. So raccoons can wreak a whole lot of trouble if they get into your attic or your garbage, but there are ways to deter the midnight mischief. CTV's Paul DeWitt visited Hope for Wildlife for some tips to raccoon-proof your property.
Hi, my name is Jade. I am a wildlife care technician here at Hope for Wildlife, and I work predominantly with the raccoons. We have about 180 raccoons with us right now. That number grows daily. We get new intakes all the time, multiple times a day, mostly babies. Often what happens is mom gets trapped and relocated, and then we get the babies, whereas it's sometimes better to have mom and baby stay together, or if you see babies that are abandoned, there's a great chance that mom is coming back. She might have just gone for the day. She will come back, so really monitor that. Make sure you're not just immediately trapping mom, immediately trapping babies and separating them. Often why raccoons get trapped is because they're in people's attics, in people's basements, in people's green bins. People find them around, or the moms really like to have babies in a quiet, dark place. The best preventative measure for that is to close off all these spaces, make sure it's all raccoon-proofed, close off your attic, close off your basement, any crawl spaces they can get into. That's the best preventative measure. If you do have raccoons already in your ceiling, a mom is giving birth in there, because she will like that quiet, that dark space, the best thing to do is try get her out. The way to do this is by putting a light up there, making it really bright, making sure it's not so dark in there, put the radio on, put a nice big loud radio there. She will move, she doesn't want the noise. Try and make it uncomfortable for her. You land up trapping a mom and babies. The best thing to do is always give us a call. We take injured and sick and orphaned wildlife, not necessarily just healthy adults, healthy raccoons. It is really, really important to make sure garbage is not lying out everywhere, lying on the side of the road. Have it in a green bin, have it in a black bin. So yeah, keeping it clean, keeping the garbage away will also deter them from coming near your house.
Some excellent advice. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
I can't believe, I know they are very cute. I can't believe they have over 180 of them at Hope for Wildlife right now.
Yeah, and it would have been a hot day for them there.
Yes, absolutely. And for all of us, actually.
Exactly, yeah. We did feel the heat ramping up throughout the region today, but a nice view here from the Sydney waterfront shortly after the rain stopped late this morning. And yes, that sun did come out.
Welcome back. Brianne Foley joins us once again in for Kalen Mitchell this week. And, you know, Kalen knew what he was doing, huh? He knows how to pick them. What a week we're having so far.
He does know how to pick them. Beautiful sunshine, warm temperatures, and of course we are going to see some more of that warm weather tomorrow. But as we take a look here at our sun times, we are seeing a calm scene over the northwest arm in Halifax. Pretty similar sunrise and sunsets to today, actually. But of course, as we take a look here at our watches and warnings, those are going to be the most impactful for today. We are seeing that severe thunderstorm watch in effect till later on this evening for that southeast corner of New Brunswick, as well as into Prince Edward Island. We have that heat warning in effect as well today as into tomorrow. So we're not going to have a whole lot of reprieve overnight for parts of Nova Scotia, especially in the western and central areas of the province. Now, taking a look at our current temperatures, of course, you can pretty much see that as we continue on for today. Currently looking at 35 in some places. We're not seeing a whole lot of temperatures going down as we head later into the evening, and that's pretty much going to stick around into overnight and into tomorrow. We are seeing humidex values again, making things feel even hotter out there with that moisture in the air. So that is something to consider if you are heading out and about this evening. Now, the wind is not really helping either, so we're not having a whole lot of gusting wind to reprieve from that warmth. So we are seeing a little bit of an increase over in St. Stephen's and Fredericton, but again, not a whole lot to contend with as we head throughout the day. Now, watching our forecasted timeline, some spotty showers are expected to linger into the early hours of Wednesday morning, especially along the coastline and where those warmer temperatures are hanging around. But then we should see clearer skies continue into Thursday. We should see that sun shining bright as well, however, not as hot. So overnight, again, that severe thunderstorm watch as well as that heat warning. And then into Wednesday, we are going to see still warmer temperatures, very high UV index values, mostly sunny conditions throughout most of New Brunswick. fog patches, especially along that coastline, clearing throughout the course of the morning. Now over onto Prince Edward Island, we are going to continue to see warmer temperatures than average, but not as warm as we saw today. Same thing goes over into Cape Breton, as well as eastern parts of Nova Scotia, and then of course western Nova Scotia and central Nova Scotia under that extreme heat warning still in effect. A little bit cooler along the coastal lines. Now, as we head into Thursday, we do see a little bit more average type temperatures, a little bit more cloud coverage as well. And as we take a look here at our high temperature trends, we are seeing that dip pretty much across the board in both Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, as well as into Charlottetown. A little bit cooler even into parts of Prince Edward Island. Now, we do have our first tropical storm to talk about for today. It's not going to impact us in any way, and it should just become a low pressure system as of Wednesday morning. But Tropical Storm Andrea is the first one of the year, so we are seeing that continuing to just gain a little bit of traction until tonight when it turns into a tropical storm and then back down into a depression. So not a whole lot to contend with in that regard. But it's time now to check out our weather watcher for today. And this is George, who is 6 years old, and he sent us a photo of a skateboarder holding a football along the coastline. So we thank you very much for sharing that with us, George. And of course, if you have a photo you would like to send us, you can send it to kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca, or of course, you can send it by mail. Maria?
Thank you, Brianne. All right, now, a group of female entrepreneurs were the third cohort to complete the SPICE program from Mount St. Vincent University yesterday. CTV's Jim Quammen attended the graduation celebration at Pier 21.
The SPICE program, which stands for Specialized Program in Cooking Entrepreneurship, is a program of the Center for Women in Business at Mount St. Vincent University. It is a transformational program, really, that helps women who are food business entrepreneurs to build, launch, scale, and grow a food business to success.
Thank you so much.
And so we educate them so that they can register their businesses, do the right types of regulatory work, making sure that their food is safe to consume and sell. But we also help them to find opportunity to sell into retail, grocery stores, to help them to understand the regulations behind packaging, food safety and science, and the process of exporting and selling into larger spaces like Costco, and utilizing the knowledge that they have in order to have a profitable business.
SPICE program exposes you to so many resources in business to teach you how to brand your item, how to get your logo, how to price your goods, how to set up your contract for your business that you'll be successful.
I have a cake studio in China, then we moved to Canada. I don't know how to start a business here. So the SPICE program helped a lot to make me have a real business, a real cake studio at my home.
SPICE is not only benefiting the women who are in the program, it also benefits their community when they learn how to run a food business correctly. It allows them to run a more profitable business. This helps them to be able to hire people beyond themselves.
Wonderful. Congratulations to all of the grads. All right, taking our final break here on CTV News at 5. When we come back, though, we're talking about the healing power of music in this story.
I'm Ryan McDonald at the Big Fiddle in Sydney, where some musicians from California who just got off a cruise ship here came with a gesture of kindness for some band students here in Cape Breton, rising above any tensions that might exist between our two countries. The story is coming up.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. School's almost out, so tell us about your epic skip day tomorrow at 7.
And just a couple of more days to get in on Aaron and Peter's payroll. Go to move100halifax.ca to register.
Welcome back. So there has been plenty of Canada-U.S. tension this year, but as CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us, a musical missionary group from south of the border is in Cape Breton with a goodwill gesture.
2 church choirs from California arrived in Cape Breton by cruise ship today as part of a musical missionary tour up the East Coast.
And the message that we're hoping to spread is one of unity, togetherness, in a time where many things are trying to pull people and communities apart.
The American choir members are making a donation to the Cape Breton Victoria Regional Centre for Education towards music education in schools.
We heard about the need specifically for instrumental repair here on the island within the music education system. And so we said that's a place that we would really love to focus on funneling our donations.
I'm just an Alberta boy in Cape Breton Island for the very first time.
As a Canadian living in the United States, Keith Peterson says things like tariffs and the threat of annexation have hit hard, and that the strained relationship between the two countries is a big reason they have come here with a gesture of generosity.
It's been heartbreaking for me to see this rift of relationships that have been developed over 150 years or more.
I think it's an example of all of us rising above what's going on.
The head of the Cape Breton Music Industry Cooperative, which holds events throughout the year to raise money for the next generation of musicians, says this is an example of ordinary Americans separating themselves from any conflict at the government level.
Obviously, we have our opinions on things like that, but at the end of the day, it's people coming together that makes the world a better place and not a worse one.
The donation amount is $1,000, and while that may only go so far, the choir members say it's more about the gesture and the meaning behind it that counts. Tomorrow, the choirs move on to Prince Edward Island, where they sing in Charlottetown. They say they have been treated with nothing but kindness so far on this side of the border, which only further justifies their musical mission.
We wanted to reach out to the Canadian people directly and show them that not all Americans feel like Canada should be a part of the United States.
From California to Cape Breton, it's a message that's heard loud and clear. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
Thank you, Ryan. You know, that story is just further proof that, like, music is the universal language and that we all do have common ground, and it's lovely to see. And welcome to Canada, and we hope you continue to have a great time.
I mean, they're heading to Prince Edward Island. We're still seeing those warmer temperatures.
Yes.
We're seeing that sun shining for PEI as
beach
well.
weather,
So,
for sure.
you know, they came at the right time.
And it's because it is going to stick around for a little while longer.
Yeah, we're going to see that heat into tomorrow, but we are going to see a little bit cooler temperatures, but still sun shining. So I'll have more on that at 6, of course.
Yeah, so we'll see you and Todd at 6. I'll see you tomorrow. Have yourselves a lovely evening. Thanks for watching. The National News follows.